Hello everyone. So in the last video we were started discussing about programming domains, and FORTRAN is the language which is used to complete scientific applications, a basic language. Now this video is going to cover about concepts of FORTRAN programming language. FORTRAN basically stands for Formula Translation, and this is designed by John Backus and IBM company, because he's working for this company, and when he was in that company he started doing of FORTRAN programming language. First version of FORTRAN is FORTRAN 1, and the later version, this version is 1957. The next version is FORTRAN 2, and the next version is FORTRAN 3, and the next version is FORTRAN 4. It is released in 1960. So we used to call FORTRAN 4 as standard version of FORTRAN. The reason why I'm mentioning US, FORTRAN 1 version is having only 32 statements. Only 32 statements. So giving more advancement, significance advancement to each version, FORTRAN 4 is the standard version, the basic standard version, and which is released in 1960. And one more point, FORTRAN is an imperative programming language. FORTRAN is imperative. Somewhere I wrote actually. FORTRAN is an imperative programming language. What is imperative programming language? The language which will have successive versions, which follows Van Neumann architecture, and which have standard data types belongs to imperative programming language category. FORTRAN is such a programming language, and here you can see it is a multi-paradigm language. That is what multi-paradigm, in the sense, respective to the programming languages, you might have heard about languages belongs to structure oriented, procedure oriented, object oriented, something like this you might have heard respective to the language, correct? FORTRAN is not stipulated to one particular region. It is multi-paradigm, that it is structure oriented, it is procedural oriented, it is object oriented. So when you look at the first standard version of FORTRAN, it is a general purpose language, that it is of generic programming language. Now today we are using FORTRAN 2023 version. So all successive versions, starting with FORTRAN 1 to today's version, all these versions will give us one thing, that it is a multi-paradigm. Few versions of FORTRAN will support object oriented, few will support structure oriented, but altogether FORTRAN is multi-paradigm language. And the file name extension, the way how we'll save C programming with .c extension, FORTRAN programs will get saved with .f90, .f, .for. So these are what file extensions. FORTRAN, just now we mentioned this, FORTRAN is a general purpose language, and it is a compiled language. That means FORTRAN uses compiler, and it is imperative programming language, and it is especially suited to perform numerical computations and scientific computations. So this is what a FORTRAN basic feature is. And there are some areas of applications where FORTRAN is best suited. Numerical weather predictions. So when you look at this numerical weather prediction, we will be having a larger value, correct? So our values won't be something like of 2 comma 3, what basically we'll do with arithmetic operations. So numerical weather prediction, in the sense, we'll use large floating point representation. So when you look at all the applications, you will be understanding this. FORTRAN is the language where the data of FORTRAN will be large floating point representation. And finite element analysis, computational fluid dynamics, geophysics, crystallography, computational chemistry, all the applications will take huge data, or else you need a data representation, and the data representation is large floating point representation. and it is a popular language for high performance computing. As we are doing these kind of applications, naturally Fortran is high performance computing, and it is used for programs that benchmark and rank the world's fastest supercomputers. Beginning of today's this video, we started knowing about Fortran is having successive versions. So there are many versions which you can find, and you can look at this. I'm talking about Fortran 77. The speciality of Fortran 77 is it is structured programming language. It is structured programming language, and it uses character based data, especially it uses uppercase letters. That means if it starts with, let us say that I wanted to do some hello world program, so program of Fortran will start with program word, and look at this, I'm using all capital letters. So Fortran 77 exclusive operation is this, that exclusive usage. Program of Fortran 77 will uses uppercase letters. Program, and your program name something like hello, then we'll use print command. Now look at this, all are I'm writing in capital letters, correct? So Fortran 77 usually spelled in all uppercase letters. So later Fortran 90, from Fortran 90 character based data, it uses uppercase and it uses lowercase. So Fortran 90 features are, it uses array programming, modular programming, generic programming. Modular programming in the sense it accepts procedures. Now what we are calling with the name of subprograms, functions. Fortran uses procedure. The way how function will work in RC program, the same way procedure will work in Fortran. So Fortran 95 is what? High performance Fortran. Fortran 2003 is object oriented programming, and it is concurrent programming, it is parallel computing. So altogether Fortran is a multi-paradigm language. It supports structure oriented, Fortran 77 structure oriented, Fortran 2003 object oriented, Fortran 2008 concurrent programming, and 2018 is parallel computing. So when you keep all these things together, you can understand Fortran is a multi-paradigm programming language. And this is what sample program. Each program in Fortran will starts with the word of program, and it will end with the word of end program. And hello world is my name of the program, like something like we'll give in object oriented programming languages our class name, correct? So in the same way here also we'll give, and no semicolons at end of the statement, what generally will do a mistake. And it uses data types which are integer and real. So when you wanted to read input output data, we'll use write function and we'll take read function. It is in the place of scanf. It is in the when you wanted to write something, you'll take write function. When you wanted to read, we'll take a read function. And it uses do loop. And if you wanted to give any dimensions to your data, we'll use dimension function, equivalence function. So all these are basic concepts of Fortran. And next video we'll cover the next programming language.